We are making some delicious homemade chicken noodle soup. Since I've got so many legs, I'm going to use a few of these legs in my soup as well, because we'll never eat that many legs at one time. So let's go ahead and, I'm just going to put a couple of those in there, and this is going to be for chicken noodle soup. Now for the chicken soup, we are going to throw in a few things. That's beef, and this is chicken. Now you can use granules or you can use the hard bouillon if you want to. I like to add a little bouillon to my chicken stock. I just think it makes it even more flavorful. You don't have to, but I choose to. I'm just going to grab a little bit of sage and put in it. Now I'm going to go ahead and chop this onion a little bit so that it's ready for soup. So I can, you know, it's not just going to be to flavor the soup, it's going to be in the soup as well. So we're just going to chop it a little bit. You don't have to be little pieces, but you don't want it to be really big in your soup either. The kids are wanting some chicken noodle made with spaghetti noodles, so that's what we're going to do. So we'll put this onion in there. I'm going to grab some celery. All right, I'm going to rinse off a little celery. We're going to chop it up, put it in there, and I'm going to leave the leaves on it because it tastes good in the soup. My good knife is dirty over there with chicken on it, so I'm having to use this little serrated knife. So it takes me a little longer. Celery going in. Now you can scrape them like I'm doing, or you can peel them with a vegetable peeler, whatever you want to do. Mom always just scraped hers. It's faster than having to get out something else and do it. So there's our carrots. This will be plenty of carrot in our soup. I'm going to get out this new mandolin. I want you to see how cool it is. It comes like this, and everything's wrapped and the blades are taped up and everything when you get it. But you can store it really easy. It has something to hold your vegetables, and then it has these, and this of course is my favorite to use for slaw. Let's see how this thing works. I haven't used it yet. This is my slicer.
Don't wear your gloves.
And I want to wear my gloves instead of using the little mandolin thing, because I have gloves that keep you from getting cut. And I do prefer to put them on when I am using a mandolin, because they are sharp, sharp. And I'm old and I'm bound to make a mistake. Okay? So we're just going to slice this up. I like these the way that they're made. It's not going to break. What happened with my old one is it was outlined with a piece of black trim, and the trim actually broke. And it's fun to use. It's fun to make potato chips and different cuts for salads. If you get some gloves like this, then your kids could actually help you. I wouldn't trust them with a guard, because your fingers can go to the side of a guard, but if they have these gloves, they work really well. And I just rinse these out in my dishwater when I'm washing dishes. Put in a little bleach for stuff like carrots that get on them, you know, and let them dry and use them over. You can go all the way down to the very end with these and not get cut. They're so nice. All right, here's our beautiful carrot slices. They're gonna go in our soup. Not waste any. Now, Let's take a spoon and see how this looks. I think I need to add just a little bit more broth. No, I think it's fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this down on a low temperature. We're gonna add a little salt and pepper. We're gonna put it on a low temperature. We're gonna add a little bit of sage to it. Let me take off my glove. Let's add a little bit of sage, because it's always good on chicken. And we're gonna put a little salt and pepper in it too. A good bit of salt. Let's do at least a teaspoon. And then pepper, at least a half teaspoon. So I'm gonna put a lid on it, and we're gonna simmer it. Now I'm gonna show you how this cookware works. Okay, this is my, and get out our chicken. I'm just gonna put it on a plate and let it cool down, and then we'll take it off the bone. And of course we'll leave this good broth in here to make our soup. But you're gonna wanna take your chicken out to cool. That's the back. I saved it because it had a good bit of meat on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more water to it. We're going to go ahead and drop our spaghetti in there because the chicken's done. And the vegetables, the carrots of course are way done. So in order not to overcook it too much, I'm just going to add some water to my stock. And we're going to put in some spaghetti noodles. I'm going to turn it up of noodles. All right, when you're picking the chicken off the bone, especially on a leg, there's a lot of gristle and stuff that you definitely don't want in your chicken. So when you're picking it off, make sure anything that looks like that looks like gristle, take it off. I take off even any part that looks like fat or gristle of any kind. I do not put in my chicken and dumplings or in my chicken noodle soup. Make sure that it's all fleshy meat. So just make sure you do a good job. Make sure you allot enough time, because it's not as simple as just pulling it off the bone and throwing it in there. And the reason I'm showing this is a lot of you have never really cooked that much, and you typically buy chicken that's off the bone, and you can do that. But if you're going to make chicken dumplings or chicken noodle soup or something with a broth base, then you really need to boil a chicken, and you need to know how to pick it off the bone properly. So you're just going to lay it out on a plate like I did, let it cool down, and then you're going to make sure that you have no pieces of bone or gristle. Even the little ones that have gristle hanging off of them, make sure you take it off. Alright, we'll put the lid back on it, and those will get soft while this chicken cools down. We'll pick the meat off of it, throw it back in our broth, and we'll have some good chicken noodle soup. Alright, our soup is ready. I'm going to put a little parsley in it just to make it pretty. I have a little bit more green. So I'm going to grab it up here. Throw some in there just for color. I don't have any fresh, or I put in some fresh. Alright, I'm going to put some in a bowl. Okay, the parsley made it pretty. And we're going to put some in a bowl. I'm going to taste it for you guys and let you know if it's delicious or not. Always make sure before you plate that you do taste and make sure it's salty enough for your company or your family or your friends, whoever it is. I'm going to get a good many noodles. And with this kind of soup, you may want to, make sure you mix that chicken in there good, so everybody, one bowl don't get all the chicken at one time. Now I'm going to go ahead and taste it again in case I need to salt and pepper it. It's good. You can always add a little cracked pepper and salt on it before you eat it if you want to. It's got a really good flavor. It makes a huge difference when you boil a chicken or some chicken pieces like we did, just the leftover chicken. I got 2 meals out of a whole chicken and 2 chicken legs. Good and delicious comfort food. Something you can put in the refrigerator and have for lunches. And you could always make you a pimento cheese sandwich to go with it. This is my waterless cookware. A lot of people have bought it because I do like to use it. It is wonderful. You cannot fry stuff in it without it sticking because it is stainless steel, okay? You can do that, and even if it sticks, do what I'm about to do and it would release it. And that is, once you start cooking and it starts creating some steam, either from the meat you're cooking or the vegetables have a lot of their own moisture in them, then you put the lid on the top, and it's got to be in the open position. And once it starts to whistle, right now it's got a good bit of steam coming out, but it's not whistling. So you wait. You don't have to turn up what you're cooking, you just wait on it to whistle. Once it starts to whistle, you put it in the closed position, turn your eye down to a simmer, which is a very low setting, simmer, and you let it sit there and it creates a seal. Right now it's pretty hot, so you can still see the steam coming up through the edge. But once it calms down a little bit, since it's closed, it will go down to a simmer and it will almost pressurize what you're cooking, and it keeps it from using a lot of the moisture out of it, and that's how it can be a waterless cookware. I hardly ever use it as a waterless cookware. I just use it like a regular pot, but what I do like about it is that when you close it and you cook this way, if you're making cream potatoes or whatever it is you're making, dried beans, they tend to cook a lot faster because they're under some pressure without having to use a real pressure cooker. So I just really love this cookware. I've had it forever. It's just like my Salad Master, so why go and pay $2,000 and $3,000 for a set of Salad Master when you can buy this Maxim cookware and have the same product? The handles are the same, the seal's the same on the bottom of the pans. They're very thick and very nice. See this? It's very thick bottomed, and it has the same thing on the bottom of it as my Salad Master. I'm sure they're made by the same company. So if you've ever wanted a set of Salad Master, if your mother had a set or your grandmother had a set, then I would suggest you buy this set. It's about $300 on Amazon, and it's done really well. So our soup is going to simmer, and I'm going to let it simmer for about an hour. It's 1 o'clock, and about 2 o'clock we're going to take it off, take the chicken out, and finish preparing it. Thanks for watching Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook like Mama did.